It's just insane. I mean, I'm on the mainline Army websites admitting they're building giant FEMA camps to be run by the Army all over the country. Houston Chronicle, they're all reporting it like it's no big deal. They're reporting troops to patrol America like it's no big deal. Army Times, Denver Post. Sybil Edmonds is in mainstream news, saying I'm ignoring my federal gag order. Bin Laden works for the U.S. government. We already knew that, but to have her from inside FBI intercepts through NSA, I mean, it's just so incredible they ran those attacks. I mean, I don't blame the public not wanting to believe it. The people that own and run the government, offshore banks, have taken over by fraud and staged the terror attacks of 9/11 as a pretext to crack down on the American people. And look how they've used the Patriot Act against the American people tens of thousands of times. Look at how they have turned America into a police state. Look at how they have openly admitted that Homeland Security and Northcom are for gun owners and returning veterans, and that the whole anti-terror apparatus is for the people. This is really happening. This is really going on, ladies and gentlemen. And WorldNet Daily is a very credible source. They have broken so many huge stories over the years. And Alan Key's lawyer is a prominent pundit on Fox and CNN and MSNBC over the years. We've got video clips of his lawyer up there talking about all this. And we got big reports coming out in the next 30 minutes at Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. We'll give you the whole backstory on this. Is this really the smoking gun of Obama's Kenyan birth certificate? Let's put that up on screen for PrisonPlanet.tv viewers. They've got big blow-ups on the site. Certified copy of registration of birth. Coast Province of Kenya. The document lists Obama's parents as Barack Hussein Obama and Stanley Ann Obama, formerly Stanley Ann Dunham. The birth date is August 4th, 1961, and the hospital of birth at Costa General Hospital is Mombasa, Kenya. And then people say, oh, well, they wouldn't have a newspaper announcement a month later in the U.S. Would they think he was going to be president or something? No. If you're going to stage that your son was born in the U.S. so he could be a U.S. citizen and so he could get, if he was born out of the country, he wouldn't get it. There's only a few countries they recognize that with. England and Israel and a few others. So a lot of families have been caught doing that with fake announcements in the newspaper and stuff. That's standard procedure. And he'll never release the blueprint original. I have the blueprint original. Looks like a watermarked, photocopy, not a certificate. And in the last 5-6 years, they stopped giving people copies of the original watermark because I've got 3 children. And what you go down and do is get a certificate of live birth, and they go, each additional one is, $10, $15. I forget exactly. It's like $10, $15. And I go, okay, I'll take 3 copies per child, because you need that, with all the different, systems to get passports and things, so I can get my babies out of the country if things collapse too bad. People are like, why do you have a birth certificate? It's better to be in the system and out of the system, so you can have it both ways. But you can argue about that all day. The point here is that, I want to say hi to my babies, by the way. I know we're listening. The document lists Obama's parents as Barack Hussein Obama and Stanley Ann Obama, formerly Stanley Ann Dunham. The birth date, August 4th, 61, at the hospital of birth of Coast General Hospital in Mozambique, Kenya. This is just incredible, ladies and gentlemen. I know I said I'd take calls, but the caller pointed out to me that I'd forgotten to go with the top story. Because again, I'm just immersed in huge news every day. No doctor is listed, but the alleged certificate bears the signature of the deputy registrar of Coast Province. Now, Dr. Corsi and others have gone to Kenya and tried to get this. They get arrested and held in house arrest when they try to go to the hospital and try to go interview his family. And it's happened to a bunch of other reporters. You go to Kenya, you get followed around, you get beat up, you get arrested, you get disappeared. The doctor is listed, but the alleged certificate bears the signature of the deputy registrar of the Coast Province, Joshua Simon Koya. It was alleged issue as a certified copy of the original in February '64. So it's the same. It's a certificate. WorldNet Daily is able to obtain other birth certificates from Kenya for purposes of comparison, and the form of the documents appear to be identical. Yeah, that's the other issue. The so-called certificate of live birth, the certificate of the certificate that Obama uses, experts have looked at it from Honolulu, and it appears to be fake. And I've compared myself. This is really scary, folks. This is planned so they can create some constitutional crisis or riots or something. I mean, everything about Obama is different. And he did lie about being Barry Soetoro and going to Muslim madrasas. That's now all come out as documented. I mean, and I'm not saying you're bad if you're a Muslim, but don't lie about it. Last week, a counterfeit document purporting to be Obama's Kenyan birth certificate made the rounds of the internet, but was quickly determined to be fraudulent. The new document released by Tats bears none of the obvious traits of a hoax. And see, the establishment does that. What did Karl Rove get caught doing back in Texas politics whenever he wanted to burn a political opponent? He engaged in releasing fake documents ahead of real documents coming out. It's covered in the film Bush's Brain. This is a classic tactic. That if you know real documents are going to come out, you muddy the water with other fake ones. And again, this whole thing could be an elaborate psyop. He could have been born in Honolulu. And then it becomes a giant distraction from all the things he has lied about. Hiring nothing but lobbyists. Letting lobbyists write all the laws. Lying about how he wouldn't go after the Second Amendment. Lying about not raising taxes on people above $250,000 a year. I mean, just everything he said has been a lie, and he's been caught in all these lies. Warrantless wiretapping, he's continuing it. He promised to punish Bush for his crimes, has blocked investigations. He promised to end the Patriot Act. He promised to end the secret arrest. He's expanded it all to indefinite secret detention. I mean, you know, that's why the Obama deception, the preeminent Obama film out there, tens of millions of views online for free on YouTube and Google. That's why we don't cover the birther issue, because it could be a honeypot. But more and more, the way they act and how they won't release the original gets very, very suspicious. The motion filed by Alan Key's lawyer yesterday in U.S. District Court for the Central District of California request the purported evidence of Obama's birth, both the alleged birth certificate and foreign records not yet obtained, be preserved from destruction, asks for permission to legally request documents from Kenya, and seeks a supposed subpoena for deposition from Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. I filed the motion with the court asking for the expedited discovery, which would allow me to start subpoenas and depositions even before Obama and the government responds. She told WorldNet Daily, I am asking the judge to give me the power to subpoena the documents from Kenyan embassy and to require a deposition from Hillary Clinton so that they will be forced to authenticate the birth certificate. I am forcing the issue where Obama will have to respond, she said. Before they said you don't have anything backing up your claims, the lawyer now said, I have something. In fact, I have posted on the internet more than Obama has. My birth certificate actually has signatures. And it goes on. The lawyer celebrated a case involved a military officer, Major Stephen Cook, whose order to deploy to Afghanistan was revoked when he challenged Obama's eligibility to hold office. That case has now been refiled in federal court in Florida, raising the specter of a class action claim among members of the military that their orders aren't valid before questions surrounding Obama's constitutional eligibility. You know what? Call Berg, Phil Berg, the big former deputy attorney general there in Pennsylvania, who started all this. Call him up. Maybe the end of the next hour or tomorrow we'll have him on. We're going to get this lawyer on as well, maybe even the day or tomorrow. And we will continue to cover this when we get back. But I want to stay with us.